everyone. Welcome to Time for Truth. My name's Christina, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to talk about good and evil. The Pearl is a great book. It's a timeless and unforgettable novel of men and women and good and evil. John Steinbeck. It's a enduring and classic fable, sensitively told in simple and beautiful language. It's the story of a fisherman who found a pearl beyond price, the pearl of the world. With the pearl, he hoped to buy peace and happiness for himself, his wife, and their little son. Excuse me. Instead, he found that peace and happiness are not to be purchased. They are themselves pearls beyond price. And what I love is the beginning of this book, where it talks about this can be anywhere, anybody, any place. Excuse me. And it talks about in the town, they tell the story of the great pearl, how it was found and how it was lost again. They tell of Kino, the fisherman, and of his wife, Juana, and of the baby, Coyotito. And because the story has been told so often, it has taken root in every man's mind. And as with all retold tales that are in people's hearts, there are only good and bad things, and black and white things, and good and evil things, and no in-between anywhere. If this story is a parable, perhaps everyone takes his own meaning from it and reads his own life into it. In any case, they say in the town that, and then the story begins. Because we can all tell our story. We can all begin our story just like that. In the town, they say that. And that's what happens. Words have impact. Actions have consequences. We're all responsible for our words and our actions. And I'm actually very pleased this morning to share with you all that my hope for this channel with helping somebody, it already did. So I'm not going to give out any details, but I got a confirmation that I'm not the only one with Sam Goebel whose matter is being mismanaged or has been or might be, because I'm not going to give any kind of information about the individual who contacted me and shared with me details and thanked me for posting what I had posted. And they found it through Facebook, on my Facebook page, through Messenger. And that individual said things like, Sam Goebel should really just stop practicing. I've never seen such sloppy, confusing work in my life. Asked me for advice. And I gave actually just a referral of exactly what Dick Baldwin had done for me. I gave the individual a reply in support to not give up, to stay strong, to reach out to appellate level counsel. And I'm not going to give any other identifying information about that because I don't want to implicate anybody who's reached out to me sharing their experience. And all I can do is refer them over to the people who helped me with my best wishes. And I mean, when I woke up this morning, you know, like my regular time, 2:30 in the morning, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, whatever it is, way too early, in pain, dealing still with pain management issues. I thought, oh, should I be sharing all of this information? Should I be talking about this? Is this the right thing to be doing? Who am I? Do I even have a place in this world to be able to share this, that maybe this is just what goes on? But no, these things do not need to go on. They go on when professionals don't do their job and people are hurt. So that caused me to go back in and look a little bit more into around the time that I was now pro se and having to fight Sam Goebel to get my records, and to take him to task about his failures. And one of the things that I found here, this is what my husband came up with. They were accusing me, so him too, of stealing $400,000. So we've put together this image and put it on Facebook. Found what you're looking for. $400,000 with no evidence. You can just accuse somebody of that. Even the detectives were like, you know what the one detective asked me? He said, this was after he'd investigated several of their false police reports. It was before my mom had been taken. He said, why do these people hate you so much? He was talking about my own family. I said, well, sir, I don't have the answer to that, but you could ask them to get the answer. Clue me in too. So it was, kind of a humorous thing with this, but it's really not funny because the lies harmed my mom. And then my mom's lawyer in Pennsylvania that had done all of her legal documents, which again, my siblings accused me of having prepared and executed the legal documents, as if I'm a lawyer doing legal work for my mom, naming me. No, I didn't do that. That's what they did. However, my mother's lawyer in Pennsylvania, who had prepared all of her documents, this is what he had to say in an email to me. This was around the time that Sam Goebel, I'd finally gotten Sam Goebel to work with Miles here, Miles Rittenhouse. Rittmaster, that was his last name, Rittmaster, Miles Rittmaster. I told Sam Goebel, we need to get the estate attorney who prepared the documents. He needs to make a statement, testify to something. And so I worked with Miles to get him hooked up with Sam, who delayed the whole thing again, still. And then once Miles got the document to him, he enclosed his invoice with that to the lawyer, which is, what he should have done. Sam Goebel never paid it. He never paid it out of the retainer that he was still drawing down upon. I found out afterward that Miles Rittmaster hadn't been paid. So of course I paid him because, yeah. Here's what he said though. Your mother's removal from Maryland and the challenge to your authority under the 2007 power of attorney have been dismaying and sad. Unfortunately, your mother anticipated such chicanery by your siblings and other relatives, and I regret we were unable to prevent their unethical and potentially illegal actions. If your mother were able to appreciate your actions through the veil of her mental illness, she would be proud of your faithful performance of your duties. And he wrote that on August 10th of 2018. That was in an effort to help my mom as she was being absconded with. So I went back into some of my notes about Sam Goebel now that I have more information about what this person provided me. And I made allegations about Sam Goebel not defending me, writing things that were just second grade grammar errors, typos, just crazy stuff. And the fact that he would confuse my mom and my sister, the names. Crazy. Just absolutely, honestly, just so disappointing. By November 26th, I'm still asking him for the records so that I can continue on with what I need to do. And he's still giving me the runaround. Here's another one. This one was what, November 26th? Yeah, this was in a thread. That was the thread that I read a bit about yesterday, where, oh, I don't know what happened. I need to talk to some people. Oh, yeah. And in this brief that was filed on the 25th of September 2020. So this was in anticipation of that October hearing. Was completely misguided on his case management and how he was handling the matter because he was ignorant of what the upcoming hearing was and provided a brief that answered things that were not relevant. And that's why the judge was pissed. And that's why his client lost. And that's why his client was then pissed too. And in here, he does outline that nobody else had joint tenancy'd my mother's account. Not me, not the POA in Maryland, or the alternate, Susan Seidel Tillman. Who paid you, Susan? The funds out of my mother's account paid you. Yeah, he says here, Pam was different. Instead of merely authorizing herself to act as an agent on behalf of Janice, Pam had herself added as a joint account holder. And Pam knew that this immediately granted her the right of survivorship. And that was a conflicted transaction. And the judge didn't want to hear anything the judge didn't want to have to do any work. He didn't want to have to read the briefs. And if the information wasn't right in front of his eyes, it was going to be disregarded, as if it didn't even exist. And when the judge handed down his order, that was apparent, that was exactly what had gone down. And the order also stated that that banking shenanigans wasn't done under the power of attorney because they were already gunning for my mom to be considered competent. And the rich history of that. The judge was unwilling, incapable of comprehension. I don't really know. But I was right to call out Sam Goebel along the way. I was right to call him out in all of these episodes of broadcasts that I've put together because the work was substandard and the results prove that. And my evidence of my emails that I went through, where's this? Why hasn't that been done? Excuse me. Where's the documents from the facilities that she was in for the psychiatric? No. Oh, we tried, but they want us to be specific with the dates. Well, then be specific with the dates. Good Lord. So when I take issue with the office staff, that's who's doing the work, substandard. So I'm right to call them out too. I'm the client. So I went through a lot of these these emails, and it is just still a very distressing thing. But you know what's not distressing? helping other people so that they don't feel alone, so that they don't feel like they're the only ones who are being mistreated, with their case mismanaged, with surprises, lack of communication, lack of representation. And again, you hire a lawyer, that lawyer is supposed to go to bat for you and fight. And when they don't, it is appropriate to call them out. And Sam Goebel didn't like getting called out, but that's too bad. He should have done his work. And then things might have not gotten to the point where I opened up a YouTube channel. But that's exactly what I tell the healthcare community too. If you're going to send me to YouTube to learn how to do whatever it is, or look up whatever it is, then guess what? I'm going to be on YouTube and I'm going to be talking about it. How's that? So if you people who are professionals, college graduates, this, that, and the other, degreed people, if you choose to not do your work and show disdain for those who have employed your services, expect pushback. Expect a calling out. And I mentioned about, the things, these are the things that I've said on my YouTube channel are things that I have said to these people, to their faces, in emails. Here, case in point. I wrote this to Sam Goebel on October 23rd, 2 days after the hearing. I placed the blame for this horrible loss squarely on you and your firm and whatever major staffing issues you were experiencing. Your comments about Breton, I'm sure he rarely even looks at this case, and Breton didn't do what the court asked. Well, Breton apparently did look at the matter, and Breton sure did please the court. He was calm, cool, and collected while you were bouncing on your toes, sipping from a huge to-go coffee cup while interrupting the judge. I told him that for 7 hellish months. You told me that you were doing the work. I wasn't seeing the results. Bad. Serious and unacceptable miscarriage of justice. I've been humiliated by the court and the seriously lacking actions of my legal counsel. You, Sam Goebel. And it's not just me making these complaints. I've seen your Google reviews. I see the games you guys play over there. Retarded. If you do your job, people wouldn't leave you bad Google reviews. Free speech exists. And if you don't like what I have to say, sue me. Bring it on. Send me a cease and desist. I'll frame it right back there. Holding me up from conducting my official business at the courthouse. Telling me that you're on fire. I'm on fire. I don't know what happened. I'm on fire. Well, what's happened here is that this exposure of what happened to me and my mother publicly is going to open up the path, excuse me, for people to understand that they can fight back. You can make a complaint at the bar. You can seek other counsel, call around. I would recommend not giving out your whole story and first finding out, would you all have a conflict if I give you these names? Do it that way. Play their game, beat them at their own game. Apparently that's the goal now, is for the client to beat the lawyer at their own game. That's a travesty. What's wrong with you people? You're supposed to protect the rights of your client. And when you don't do that, then the entire industry then has a shadow of doubt, just like the healthcare industry now. Asking stupid questions. What's your gender? What's it look like? Foolish people, there's 2 sexes, male and female. Pick one. I had to take a nurse to a human rights hearing about that while I'm trying to seek therapy for what I've been put through with all of this flippin' nonsense. And then breast cancer. And she wants to ask me about my gender identity. See you at the human rights hearing. So as you can see, I didn't get therapy. Nope, what I decided is that YouTube is my therapy. The truth is my therapy. And you know what? Where that comes from, I'll tell you. When I decided to get sober, back in 2001, I decided I need some way, like some new foundation to live my life, to build a new life, because I'd lost everything. And I decided that truth, that was going to be the foundation of my recovery. I was just going to tell the truth. Like, that was a, revolutionary thing for me, because I needed something to get sober and stay sober. So telling the truth was a way to do that. And I worked 3 jobs at a time. I was on the go once I got my license back after not having a license for a year. I did all these things. And not being able to process mental health issues is a serious thing. So YouTube is my outlet for that. And now I've been able to help somebody else because they reached out to me. Because on my Facebook page, I put a public post with my YouTube little calling card, wherever that little thing is over there. Yeah. So stop on by, anybody. Hear the truth. This is what happened. I bring the receipts. Yeah. So Sam Goebel is an unethical lawyer. I do not recommend him. I'm very sorry that other people are being faced with what I went through, or their own nightmarish situation when you don't get the legal help that you're seeking when you have a valid claim. And, I've shut down places before. Yep. There was a community, disabled American veterans. They were running a scam, running a thrift store. Unauthorized thrift store, pocketing the proceeds. I found out about it. After they accused me of stealing when I was volunteering there. Excuse me? What's really going on here? What do you mean you don't want me here? Why? What's going on? Oh, I found out what was going on. And they're not in existence anymore. They were stealing the community donations, pocketing the proceeds. I shut that right down. All of us, if you see something, say something. That's the world we live in today. And we should all say something. We have that right to say exactly what it is, the truth. You can color it white, you can color it black, you can say it's good, you can say it's evil. That's right. That's right. There's no gray area when it comes to that. One side or the other. Same like boys and girls. There's no in between. So, anyways, it's been a lot. I've been through a lot. My husband has been my caregiver. We actually went to a caregiver meeting with the local breast cancer people. I RSVP'd, got a confirmation number. We get dressed, we're going, yada, yada. And then guess what? No. There's nobody there. The restaurant knows nothing about it. Nothing, just nothing. I ask him, what's going on? My email gets locked into those are my dogs barking, Pebbles and Bam Bam. My email to them gets into their junk mail. So they never even answer me for a week. I'm like, what kind of cancer caregiver is that? So we have to call these things out. Let me check on my dogs. Hang on. Puppers! Hey, puppers! Chill out. Stop that barking. Hey, stop. Okay. Back again. Have to put the hammer down with the puppies. Oh, see, they don't even listen anymore. So anyways, thanks for stopping by my YouTube channel, Time for Truth. There's going to be a lot more. I expect that I'm probably going to get more feedback. I was amazed that that person reached out to me today, and I'm very grateful. If they are watching that, then, carry on. Don't give up. Take my suggestion. Don't give up. Keep going. And that's the way that it is. So thanks again for stopping by. Have a great day, and I'll be making another video pretty soon. Not too long, as soon as I get the dogs to stop barking. All right, catch you later.